I had a few messages, which was good. So let me just pull this down here and then we can obviously get started. So, as you can see, I think we did very, very well this morning because obviously dollar has not moved very much from when we spoke this morning. It was here. So we've only had this much price action here, which is hardly anything. All right. So, what are we anticipating? We don't have a lot of, news here to kind of spike interest. None of this is really going to do anything. CAD unemployment change. I'm just going to refresh this page. They've had obviously very, very strong data. The unemployment rates hasn't dropped, but obviously it's lower than the forecast, and obviously a big improvement on employment from last month. So that's where CAD has completely flown. We can, see obviously USD CAD here, GBP CAD is just rocketed. So right, what I want to do first of all, we're going to obviously, stick to our little routine. We're going to grade our pairs. So let's go through this now. So yen is obviously at the top of the list. Every time I try and write is when everyone joins. Right, there we go. Just let everybody in. There we go. So JPY, right? That is one. Next one would have to be CAD. So CAD is flown into the top. Then we've got Swiss. Then we've got, let's have a look here. So NZD. We've got then NZD. Probably probably Euro. Then the dollar, USD. Then we've got Aussie. And then GBP. Yeah. Pound is only going to go one way today. Yeah, so one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Yes. Right. So, that's obviously how we're grading our pairs at the moment. So remember, we always want to take the top three, ideally against the bottom three here. Right now, US dollar obviously has dropped. Down the list, it was up at the top. So we want to be trading potentially, CAD Swiss against obviously, or yen CAD Swiss against USD, GBP, and AUD. So if we were to look at, for example, AUD JPY, moved quite a lot. You can see here we've had not so much of an active Asia, active London session. So, that would probably put me off trading any of these pairs against yen. What else are we looking at? Pound, we're obviously caught that one, but again, active. Remember, we've obviously got end of the week flows as well. Yeah, we'll obviously have to wait and see. I've just seen Constant join. Welcome. I had a call with him yesterday. I hope you're obviously good. And drop me a message afterwards because I want to speak to you about something that we spoke about yesterday on the call. So yeah, that's that. Let's just have a look at them as well, and then we can see what's happening. So dollar starting to weaken even more. So we want to pair this up against yen, CAD, and Swiss. All right. So USD JPY, yeah, we could argue here. Let's just have a little look at this. A bit of a breakdown here of what has been happening. Not so much on the 4 hour. We've got a lot of support here, and this is obviously what worried me previously. A lot of support here, so we'd obviously want to see this break. 30-minute, you could argue we've got a nice little channel forming here, at the moment. Nice little channel, but obviously still trading within that channel. I probably would mark up this low here. There's a reason why it spiked down to this level, and obviously nothing happened. So if we were to potentially trade this, how would that look? So we'd have, yeah, not bad for a Friday afternoon. Ideally, you'd want it up here. So 1 to 2, I'd be looking at something like this if we get this continued US dollar weakness. We then got USD Swiss and USD CAD. USD CAD has gone. Um, It doesn't worry me, but obviously we've broken out of this area here. So you're obviously trying to find some kind of area here, but we've also got a strong trend. I don't really know where I would enter this. Let's just go down to a 15 minute. You could potentially argue if you wanted to put a Fibonacci on the this candle here. You could argue that we might want to look into price around this area. Let's change our squares to green, and then we know what they are. Obviously trading within the London Open. So something like this, we want a little bit of a pop up, identify area, and then potentially take it back down to here. We've had very strong Canadian data, so I can't imagine, that we're gonna drop, more than that. I just don't think that they think we're going to see this coming up from here. If we took it to here, that'd be 37 pips. It's a little bit dangerous there. So let's put a pin in that one, and we'll put a pin in a USD JPY. We've also got Swiss. So Swiss here. Let's just have a look at this. It's starting to make a nice trend here to the downside, as you can see here. All right, we've had our weakness here, 30 minute. What would I like to see here? I probably would like to see a little bit of a break because there's a lot of support here, and then we can take it down potentially. Probably not again. You have to remember it's a Friday afternoon here, so we don't really want to push it too hard. But yes, I'd like to see something like this. All right, I would like to see something like this. So that is another option there on the card. GBP CAD, like I said, has already gone, but trending to the downside quite nicely, but I think this move has happened. Euro CAD, very similar. Not a lot, really. Not a lot for a Friday. So we've got Swiss. Just move these down. AUD. What have we got in the middle of the range? Let's have a look at Euro, for example. Euro, I still don't like it. It hasn't really moved much. So I'm going to hold off on that one. I think USD CAD's the best bet. I think if we can pop back up, I'm not going to be as bold, but I'd like to enter it from here. So let's just get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. Anywhere in this kind of area, I think wouldn't be a bad little spot. We could extend down to these lows here. I think there's a lot more for USD CAD to run. Just have a look at a daily. You can see here we've had very active news here. So and obviously you can see how little it's moved. Probably halfway. There is 100% room for this to drop. I think USD CAD is a good sell, if I'm honest, as long as dollar starts to just trickle away. So let's go for that right now. So that's gonna be USD CAD. So we've gone in on USD CAD. Perfect. I like that. I like that a lot. Could potentially raise this up to 20 pips. Give it a little bit of a movement here. But yeah, I like this. So let me put this in. There we go. Uh, there we go here. Perfect. That is in. So let's wait and see how some pans out. Dollar, let's see if obviously dollar starts to strengthen. Yeah, potentially, daily range of this has been very small considering how weak pound is. There's obviously a lot of movement there to the downside. If dollar starts to strengthen, I think we could be looking at something like this. on GBP. That would be the pair that I'll be looking to pair this up with. I probably wouldn't even go further than about 50 pips if I'm honest. Nice stop here. So that would be one which I'll be looking at here. Let's just tidy this up. And that will be going with trend, but we need to see this break. Ideally, this one here and this, and then obviously that give us that momentum then to move to the downside. All right, so we need to see that break, something like this. Right, but it must break. So I'm going to put a thing here. All right, must break support. It's a very wonky arrow I've just drawn there. Remember, Friday afternoons are always a little bit hard work, all right, because they are they are always a bit slower because and there's a lot of manipulation too, which obviously you need to be aware of. So just be aware of that. USD Swiss, I do like this. I can't help it. But obviously it all depends on the dollar. Dollar. Right. I mean, that's not a bad spot to enter here. I like this. We're going to monitor it on the 15 minute. But then I don't like that there. So look at this. Let's wait and see. Right, we've got another 2 minutes on this. Ideally, we want to see a nice rejection, but USD Swiss would be a nice one here to roll over to the downside, as we explained. Everything else I don't really like. Um, Pound, obviously three equal lows here. Pound definitely hasn't got enough strength in it to capitalize on AUD, NZD, Euro NZD. Yeah, equal highs here. Just messy. You could argue if I was to take this volume tool away, you could argue here on a 30-minute. What does it look like on the hourly? Yeah, a little bit messy. A little bit messy here. You could argue that there is a structure forming here, right? Where would we be looking for a rebound here or a rejection? We're going to look back. We're going to be thinking, right, you know what? If this is here, it's going to be anywhere around here, right? So let's just monitor this and obviously wait and see what happens here, whether we get a nice rejection from here or not. Let's wait and see. We'll be looking at something like this to take it to the downside. So it's not a massive trade either. 28 pips, but obviously your NCD could potentially be one here, but we need to monitor it. So I'm going to put this here. So area needs to hold to guaranteed downside movement. There we go. All right, so this would be one here as well, your NCD. Your NZD. So trade setup potential. So let's wait and see. All right. Not a lot else on the cards for me today. It all depends obviously on how the dollar reacts. I mean, let's have a look at gold for everyone here, because one thing I love about gold is trading Asia. This is the Asian high here. All right. Now, if we go on a 5 minute time frame, we're technically all over the place. You could argue we've got a little mini channel here, which we've broken out of. this is gonna be where you want to be focusing all your efforts on today. Is this gonna break? You know, is there enough? Um, Obviously, dollar starting to. That's not good for our CAD trade. Goes to Swiss. Let's just check. Come on, check out that one there. Obviously, it's a 5 minute time frame here. So we were looking at that on a 30-minute potential to enter this. I do like it. Um, Gold. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. What I would be waiting on for gold is a break, retest, then potential upward movement. I can't see dollar strengthening more, but obviously, like always, I can be wrong. Something like this, you would need a nice healthy stop loss, and this is what people don't understand about trading gold. I'm going to put this in, but obviously, let's just write a little message on it as well. Needs to break Asia, Asia high on could be 5 minute time frame. There we go. We'll put gold here as well. There we go. Put this in for everybody. Everybody who's not here, gold. So let's wait and see. You know, we've obviously got a complete kind of, mixture here. I do like this. I do like this, but we've technically already put four potentials in, so I don't want to confuse everybody. But I do like USD Swiss where it is to swing to the downside, but it all depends on the dollar price. I think we could slowly drift towards this area. Let's have a look at some of the questions. Howard, do you trade oil? Looks very low at the moment, might be worth a long. Let's have a look at it. Looks very low. What does that mean, Howard? Looks very low. I, I mean, if we're gonna zoom out, everything here is telling me that oil's going down even further. I would say very low would be looking at this level here. All right, you got a daily trend to the downside. You got an 8 hour trend to the downside. You got a 4 hour trend to the downside. Oil wouldn't be one which I'd be looking to take. You got really nice head and shoulders. Left shoulder head, right shoulder continuation, and that's on a 4 hour, technically an hour. It's probably on an 8 hour. Yeah, left shoulder head, right shoulder. This is triggering to come down into this area, in my opinion. Robin, hi, first time in the inner circle. Amazing. Been waiting for this. Is USD CAD turned into a sell stop? No, I've entered. Are you keeping this over for the weekend? We've only just entered it, so not sure yet. Howard, yeah, yeah, I wouldn't. I'm not saying, I could be completely wrong with oil. It's just everything to me is pointing to the downside here. You want to identify, three things can very, very quickly write off a trade. Trend. Right, that's one. Have the 50 EMA up. That could, it doesn't always, but it obviously helps you to, confirm. So, that's obviously trading below. And obviously, this one's very, very clear because it's bearish across all, levels here. But also, if you look at this on a 4 hour, yes, you would have had this support here, but it's broken through. So I would say it's going to the downside. Hi, Dan. Do you always grade your pairs against yen? It isn't that I'm grading them against yen. It's just yen is the only group where I've got all of them. You can by all means cross-reference it, but obviously that will be where they will all come out, or roughly. So that's the only reason. You might choose to lay your pairs out differently, and then have all the USD pairs here. But yen is also easier to look quickly. Why is that? Because obviously, as you can see, NZD USD, so if this is up, that means that NZD is stronger than USD. But obviously, we got it the other way around here. So USD Swiss, minus 10, so we've obviously got to be, we try and do it quickly. The more you do it, the better you'll be at it, so that's why I do recommend doing it on yen, because obviously everything, as you can see here, is against yen, so it isn't as confusing because you've got USD CAD, USD is at the front, USD Swiss, but obviously everything else is the opposite way around, so it does get a bit confusing. Does anyone have any more questions? Otherwise, we will log off and yeah, look into what we're going to enter today. So yeah, USD CAD is running. Let's just have a little look. Do I want to? Yeah, it's fine. So USD CAD running. USD Swiss, I told you, perfect. Um, what else do we have? USD JPY. Want to look for this break here, and then Euro NZD2. Look at this. I mentioned it. You want a nice rejection here. Let's wait and see what happens. But yes. So yeah, have a good one, everyone. And let's have a look at gold. So gold, just monitor this Asian high here. Promise you, I actually think this is going to go high. We want a nice break, and then a continuation. This does not count as a break, so we want a nice break and then a continuation here. All right, so let's just wait and see. Gold, I don't really tend to trade it much because I do think that US Forex pairs are a lot easier. You can just obviously up your lots, and you're going to have the same experience you do trading gold, because probably trading GBP USD is at like 5 lots is like trading gold at like half a lot. And it's going to be a much more relaxing, it's more predictable. So, yeah, but no, I hope everyone has a great afternoon. And yeah, it's been one hell of a week this week. So, yeah, I hope everyone's happy. Have have a good one, guys.